This video assumes that you know the basic knowledge of how to use Moho. Unfortunately, if you're a beginner, I don't think a lot of this will make sense, but I will try my best to explain what's going on. I'll demonstrate real quickly how this rig actually works. This rig is comprised of two key parts. One is the compressible curver layer, and one is the bone dynamics. The curver layer basically curves. Ain't that crazy? So whenever you put a drawing underneath it or an image underneath it, you can distort the image in a way that you want it to. And bone dynamics is basically a way for the bones to actually have a sense of gravity to the drawing. And if you connect those bones to those curver layer points, you have a piece of line that does a bit of jingle jangle motion to it. I believe you can use this for a lot of things, like you can use it for tentacles, a little jangly arm, but in this video we're going to be using it for hair. I also discovered that if you don't connect the bones together, it gives the motion a lot more sway to it, especially if the middle bone is away from the top. I'm going to put this bone a bit far, even though it's linked or connected to the middle point of the curver layer, and look at what it does. Don't know what I'm going to use that for. It looks really stupid. I guess you can use it for the arm, like it looks like they're slapping something. Okay, just a little bit more detail. Maybe a little hand. All right. Perfect. So now the process of actually making the hair rig. It starts off like any project, starting with a sketch. Sketching is to ensure that you actually know what the end product will be and to make sure that you know how many hair strands you're going to make curver layers for. Make sure to make a head cap for your character, because when you make a turnaround animation without a head cap, it doesn't look good. It looks like they need a refund from their barber or a hat. So just make sure to make a head cap for them. That's also the reason why I made that big shape at the bottom there. Right here, I'm using the fill tool to make the shapes, but honestly, if you draw them not in one shape, it doesn't make a difference as long as the curver layer is covering all of the points of the hair. Even though I counted 2 strands for the left and the bangs, and for the right, I still put 3 just because I thought it'd look nice. And honestly, you can make as many strands as you want, as long as you make the curver layers for them. I am putting all of these in one layer because I'm a lazy son of a bitch. So if you're like me, just draw them in one layer and then cut and paste it to their own area layers. After drawing each individual part of the hair, go ahead and make a curver layer for them. Make one curver layer for them. I'm letting you know right now, you don't need more than one. I used to do this before where I was making each individual curver layer for each individual hair part. It's not, I mean, you can do that if you want. You have free will. You can do whatever you want. But also you can just make one and then go to the options and assign one curver layer for each hair part that you have. Also, when making curver layers, you can press A and click individually on each point of where you want the curver layer to be. Or, you could also like copy paste it and put it everywhere. That it saves like hours of your time. But also if you want to individually click using press A to add points, then you do you, man. You can also do the same thing with the bones. Like I said in the beginning, the bones don't have to be perfectly on the point of the curver layer. It just has to be around the vicinity of it. And select all of the bones that you made for the hair and go to the top left, go to bone constraints, go to the bottom and click on angle and put these values on the screen. They don't have to be exactly these values. I figured out that if it's around the numbers of 9 and 1.8, then it should have a pretty good gravity to it. I'm telling you this because I want you to play around with the values just to see what you actually want and what you actually like. I want you to make a choice. I want you to exercise your free will. I want you to touch grass, kiss that girl, go to a urologist, or don't. It's your prostate. You can do whatever you want with it. go ahead and test those bones, and if they have a little gravity to it and they have a good sway, then hooray, you did it. Now, before putting it all together, let's do a bit of housekeeping. Go ahead and select the 2 bottom bones and hide them. We won't be needing them anymore. And go ahead and make bones on top of the different area hair strands that you have. We're doing this because when we're making the turnaround animation, it gets really complicated and complex, especially when the bones get on top of each other. It's really difficult to select each individual one. So we make an area bone for it. We move those bones, and then we move the individual bones. Now that you have all of your bones, we can put it all together. Make a bone that's not connected to anything. Go to bone constraints, put in whatever you want, because it doesn't really matter. This bone serves as our way of putting the hair to its rightful place. Name it hair switch and go ahead and make a smart action for it. If you don't know, smart actions in Moho are a way to pre-record animation that you can use in a rig over and over again. So you don't have to redo the same animation, and put it in the right place, just like your sketch. And now you have your hair at the front view. If all you wanted was a front view, then there you have it. Have a great day. But if you want a turnaround animation, this is going to be a lot of technical jargon, so strap in. But don't worry, I got something for you. Make sure in the options of the hair bone rig in depth sort to enable animated layer order. And then create a bone, give it some bone constraints of it going around at a 360. Create an action for that bone and put the bone arrow to 180. At this point, you should be able to utilize the tools that you just created for yourself with the bone areas and the individual hair strand bones to create a turnaround animation. When the hair strand on the left is about to turn left and about to overlap with the head, make sure to put the layer of that hair strand behind the character layer. This creates that 3D effect. It really depends on the aesthetic that you've created for yourself on how they look like when they're turning around. Just make sure to utilize the head cap just so you don't see any bald spots. And now for the 360, move the bones and move the frames and move the hair strands. Great job. I'm proud of you, son. I hope this video was helpful for you. It took me a while to figure out what kind of aesthetic I actually want for the hair, and it took me a while to figure out how to actually make this rig. So if you are confused with any part of this video, you chump! What are you, stupid? Obviously, leave a comment. I'll do my best to help. If you want me to make a full tutorial where it's actually me making the rig, please do let me know in the comments, because I don't know if people want that.